You see, Robert John Langdon, who is a guy who's really interested in the ancient water levels of the island and on all the ancient waterways and the topography of England, and he also is interested in Stonehenge. He is debates with me about how we interpret and read these things. He's a man who is all fact archaeology, but there are facts here. We're looking at facts. But the problem is that, the dates and the times is to confirm a lot of them. Well, you can confirm dates and you can confirm shape and form and line and you can confirm meaning. But can you confirm that the problem is that if these were, 2,000 years old, it's a different story. But some people are still alive who are involved in this, and you can actually question them. They might forget, or they might not want to tell the truth, but this is the thing with a police investigation. This is why you question people, and you've got to try prove things. You can get witness statements. They might agree with you and say you're right. They might not. But this is a very interesting picture for various reasons, to do with lots of things in it, right? And then here we have this picture from the film, from the Zulu film. And I noticed this picture in the Zulu film with Michael Caine. And this is like towards the end of the film when they've got it's called the final battle. And I noticed that some of the panorama shots and scenarios looking up at this hill up here, the ridge of it, it looks exactly like looking up at Castle Hill from the town centre of Huddersfield, from actually where the council building is. In fact, it has a very, very strong, distinct look and feel of what it looks like to look up at Castle Hill from actually where the council building is, which that council building, by the way, was built in 1973. Prior to that, the council was over in Wakefield. And then you've got all these Zulus on the ridgeline. Now, in this part of the film, Michael Caine and the other soldiers are being attacked by these Zulus, and they end up shooting them all with precision timing and uniformity. And then the Zulus are chanting and singing a song. And then the soldiers end up singing for morale. And then another wave of them comes, and then actually it gets to a point where the Zulus could have actually, some more of them come, and what's left of the soldiers, they could have actually finished them off. But they don't. They mysteriously choose to leave them and let them live. Now, that suggests some kind of air of prayer about it. Either prayer or, divine intervention or whatever you want to call it. Some kind of mind over matter, effect in force. The film frames it as if it's coming from the morale and the souls of the soldiers, praying basically. I'll use the word praying, but the scene, it has this feel like it could be Huddersfield. Now, why does it make me think of, it's very mysterious. No one knows exactly what happened when the Romans came over, but we know that something happened. Well, there's the whole accounts of Anglesey, hands up to the heavens, battles, very, bloody fighting. But they don't tell the entire truth and the entire facts because they don't really want us to know everything, because they're trying to erase something and, destroy a religion and remove it, not help them out and, fill in the details. They try to get rid of the details. So, the accounts of Tacticus and so forth and the Roman generals is brief, and, they write down, what they need to write for their own reasons. So now, it does give this very, very strong sense of like a tribal feeling, a tribal sense, very much like also could be interpreted as like, roundhouses and Celtic warrior sort of feel versus, this kind of tribal, more wilder fighting style compared to these uniformed Roman soldiers with, their general, their commands, their orders, rank and file, which is what, Michael Caine and his regiment were using in this film, organisation, which is how the Romans won, with uniformity, with their shields, with their strategies, with, rank and file, giving orders and so forth. And that is actually how they overcome these Zulus, even though they're outnumbered, by, a massive amount. So it's got that air to it. It's got that flair to it, and it's got some kind of this is art, you see, and this is where people like Robert John Landon, who want to start arguing with you and say that you can't prove things like that. Now, the thing is, so what? I mean, what has that got to do with anything? What the hell's that got to do with anything? Well, this is the thing. What has it got to do with anything? Well, the thing is, we've been exploring this Jeffrey Epstein character more recently to do with his movie connections, his movie producers, and where does the funding come from for these big movies? They've got to borrow millions. Where did George Lucas get his money from? They've got to ask for it. They've got to ask for funding from these big moguls, these big, Rockefellers, and, possibly princes, possibly Prince Andrews, or who knows. They don't always tell you where the non-profits get their funding from, or they have to disclose it. So, now we've got this, Patrick Stewart, Jean-Luc Picard character from our area who pops up in America on, Star Trek. And, he's famous for going to Stratford. Like saying Stratford, Shakespeare's house. We used to have pubs like that and old buildings until it all got pulled out. And then these places like this knocked up. Swastika places connected to Germans. Let's celebrate the Germans who go to Africa and Swaziland. We could make a tribute to the war. Why not? Let's celebrate the enemy. Let's celebrate the Germans. And let's celebrate swastikas. At Africa. But what has this place got to do with Africa? Well, nothing. But I can tell you this: the guy who made the designs for this definitely was watching that Zulu film. And whoever gave him the job, gave him the task, and allowed his designs to go on there. And, you don't get an entire building. You don't get the opportunity to design an entire building with a throw of a dice. It has to go through planning. You have to be the right man for the job they're looking for. It has to, get approved and go through various, organizations and so forth. So, now, the thing with Sir Michael Caine is he's Sir Michael Caine, not unlike, Sir Patrick Stewart, or Sir Tony Blair, or Sir, actually, it's Lord Cameron now, isn't it? Sir Nick Clegg, these servants of the crown. And then we end up with, in more recent times, the Kingsgate Centre, a big shopping centre, fortress-style monstrosity that writ off the Ship Inn pub, which was a beautiful part of the town, and this new Starship Enterprise University building, going where no man's been before, effigy. So, and then we've got the whole thing with the history that I've done the evidence for, with the ancient site getting built on and the Queen's coronation. And then we go all the way back to De Lacy with, the hill getting sliced up, slice cut out of it. So now, this is my opinion. This is, and this is, this is probably going beyond forensic investigation now. But why do I get the distinct feeling that someone who is in and around, funding Zulu films and pulling strings in Jeffrey Epstein circles with Prince Andrew, why do I get the distinct feeling that they may or may not have had some hand in this particular artist ending up getting the privilege of banging this artwork up? And why is it every time we seem to get any buildings planted into this place, they're either some kind of victorious tower, some kind of Kingsgate Fortress Centre, some kind of Enterprise ship, or some other form, Imperial Chemical Industries? Why is it all, and why are they always making a mess? And actually, they're not that amazing, because they're writing off our heritage. And why is it that everyone seems to be wanting to go to Stratford? Let's go. Let's all go. Let's go. Get all the tourists to Stratford upon Avon. Let's go see Shakespeare's house in Stratford. That's where Patrick Stewart's going. That's where apparently this artist who did that spent a fair bit of time, although he did spend a bit of time in Birmingham, the concrete jungle, when it was, being conceived. So, where are our Shakespeare houses? Where are our, old liberal pubs in the town centre? Well, they've been ripped out. They've been pulled out like teeth, because the problem is, they don't symbolise Shakespeare. The bard that everyone celebrates, the bard that everyone jokes about, Shakespeare. They go to the Globe in London, they write, plays about him. Americans come over, they do jokes about it in Stardust films, they do Michael Caine jokes about it, Don't Shake That Bloody Spirit Me. They can't stop. It must mean something. So when it comes to Huddersfield, not Stratford, where are the stories? Where are the characters? Where are the liberals from the Civil War? Who were they called? What were their names? No one knows. No one knows. Why aren't they like, yes, he is one as Sir Patrick Stewart. There we go. As long as someone's kneeled down in front of the title, then we can celebrate them. There's Sir Patrick Stewart, Lord David Cameron, Sir Nick Clegg, Sir Tony Blair, kneel to the Kingsgate Centre. There's a trend going. Why do I see a trend going here? Victorious Tower, Imperial Chemical Industries, the Kingsgate Centre, Sir Patrick Stewart. There's a theme going here. There's a theme. Now, where's the theme from before BC? I don't see that theme lasting anymore. I don't see that theme because someone's been removing it. Someone's been erasing it. I don't even see the theme from Oliver Cromwell. Where is the theme from Oliver Cromwell? Where are the victorious liberal pubs of the West Riding? Gone, pulled out like teeth. Gone, pulled out like teeth. Gone. There's a trend here. Why is Shakespeare's house still there? Because someone wanted it to be there still. Now, we've got a problem. And that problem is that we've got ancient site Hillfort that actually fits this profile quite well to the Zulu film. And potentially events that no one's quite certain exactly what happened, but we can give a wild guess, and there's a very strong invasion theme going on. But I think someone is having a laugh about it with these Zulu films and with these buildings that they're getting